Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Patek Philippe Gondolo in white gold with a blue Sunburst index dial reference 5124G-011. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the history, although it's very long, then tell you about where this watch stands in the lineup of other similar gondolos, then tell you about the case bezel dial bracelet movement, finally try to and give you my thoughts. So let's start with the history. Now, the gondolo has been around for around 100 years, and it was named after the famous Brazilian retailer in Brazil called Gondolo, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Laburu, something like that. At any rate, let's just call it Gondolo. Gondolo was a retailer in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and Patek Philippe and Gondolo had an amazing relationship where Patek sold Gondolo, the retailer, around 30% or 1/3 of their watches from 1872 to 1927. That's a period of 50, 60 years that they sold their watches to, and as a result, Patek decided that they're going to make a timepiece designed exclusively for the Brazilian retailer, and they called it the Cronometro Gondolo, or you can also just call it the Gondolo. So since Brazil was such a big market for them at that time, it's hard to imagine that Brazil would be such a big market for them. But you have to remember, this was 1872 to 1927, right when Brazil was really having an unprecedented economic boom at the time. And also, you have to remember, this 1920 until 1927, there had been World War I in Europe, and Europe had really been smashed to pieces at this time. And so a third of watches were going to Brazil, and they were going through this very famous retailer, Gondolo and Laburu. Okay, poor Laburu, he didn't get his name on it. It's only Gondolo. All right, but anyways, the point being, that's when this originated, which is about 100 years, maybe even a little bit longer than 100 years ago. And since then, the Gondolo has gone through tons of variations. They've had pocket watches, they've had circular gondolos in the early 1920s, and then the most recent ones were the 24 collection, which looks very similar to this one that you see here. They made it for the ladies collection, and they made this one here. This one actually can be worn as a ladies watch, but when I start talking about the size, you'll see that it's more geared for men because of the size, because it's a little bit larger. But the 24 collection also had this long tonneau shaped design, and that came around, I think somewhere, it was launched in 1999. Let's call it 2000. It's about 25 years old. Okay, this long tonneau shaped. And then from there, they even had Gondolo hot jewelry, which was, they have this long tonneau shaped, kind of like Richard Mille or Frank Mueller. They put diamonds and all sorts of, crazy gem sets on these gondolos. I've seen them in person. We sold a few at Jazz Time, and they look absolutely amazing. Incredible watches. One of my favorite. Okay, exactly. So they also made even other amazing shapes in this gondolo, and they made this cushion shaped, which is kind of like a square. So for the gondolo section, they really have added all sorts of funky Art Deco shapes, long tonneau shaped with gem sets, cushion shaped with this sort of square. They even have circular, and they have a huge variation of these gondolos. It's really quite a sight to behold, and I'm really a big fan of it. And if you want to look at any of their kind of wildest designs, it's really in the gondolo section. It really is fantastic. All right, now they don't make, now let's I was going to tell you about where this watch stands in the lineup of other gondolas. They don't make this one anymore. This one was created in 2016. It had like a 1-2 year run. So most of the, you'll see it like this are from 2016, 2017. Before this model, they had, I think it was Roman numerals, which kind of made it look a little too crowded. But in this configuration, with these index styles, or index hour markers, it looks a lot cleaner, and I'll talk to you about it when I talk about the specifics. But at any rate, it's one of the few Pateks that has this tonneau shaped. And if you ask me, the other really famous brand that has this tonneau shaped would be, of course, Richard Mille, but it's kind of in a different class. Richard Mille is more like a hyper watch. I was going to say that the other similar watch to this in this class would be the Cartier Tank Francais. So that watch, or any of their, not any of it, but many of their other Cartiers have this similar shape. Their Tank American, it has this long shape, but I have to say, of course, Patek is a bigger and better watch brand. May not be a better brand, but in terms of watches, they definitely are better. I think even Cartier would agree to that. If you like this shape and you were considering maybe a tank, but you had enough disposable income to spend money on this, you could get it. And the retail price at the time of release back in 2016 was $27,000. They don't make it anymore, so I'm sure if they were to reproduce it again, it would be much more. But we're selling this watch in the 20s. So that's a pretty good deal considering they don't make it anymore. It's a very rare Patek that has the shape, so on and so forth. Okay, anyways, that's enough about the history. You get my point there. Now I'll start talking about the case itself. Okay. Now the case itself is 33 millimeters by 31. Okay, so that means, because it's a square, so it's longer, 33 and 31. But if which is not very big. If it's going to fit almost everybody's wrist. 33, 31 millimeters is not big. And if you turn it on its side, by the way, you're going to see it's only 7.4 millimeters in height, which is super thin, ultra thin, very, very thin. And most watches, if it's under 8 millimeters, that's considered thin, ultra thin, and 7 millimeters is ultra thin. I mean, it's about as thin as you need to get on a watch. Okay, and and amazingly so, by the way, it's not a quartz watch. It's actually a manual wind watch, which when I show you the movement, you'll see why this is such a great buy, and it's really a sight to behold. Okay, and if you're lucky enough to buy this watch, good for you. And by the way, if you want to buy it, go to jazztime.com. Okay, now let me show you another thing, which is lug to lug. Lug to lug means how much wrist this will cover, from the very top of your wrist to the very bottom, going from 12 to 6, and that distance actually 42 millimeters. So it's not small. Like if you think about like a Submariner, which is only 40 millimeters, of course not 40 millimeter lug to lug, but still the diameter of it, at 42 millimeters lug to lug, it's still has some heft to it, which is why I said it's not really for women. Although women can wear this, they do a 24, but the way that Patek did this one, it does not look feminine to me. It looks much more masculine. And so, and of course, a man bought this watch, so yeah, it's a men's watch. But at any rate, okay, that's the case. And by the way, it's made out of white gold. Let me show you the working on this case. They did this beautiful step case. They could have just done a flat case, but they did this beautiful step case. And what they did is, on one side, it's a step case, but on the 3 o'clock side where the crown is, they used the step case and they indented this part so that the crown fits there and serves not only as aesthetic to balance out the left side, but also to make it as a crown guard, guarding the crown guard, because that protects the crown so that when it gets hit, it doesn't break the crown, because the crown is very easily, it's just a stem followed by a screw. And so if you hit it hard enough, you'll break it. But they protected that crown by placing it inside the step case, and that it's just beautifully done. It makes the watch look symmetrical, it has function, and it's totally Patek. It looks awesome if you ask me. Okay, really, really beautiful case. And this to me is a total dress watch. You wear this with your suit, tux dress watch. Beautifully done, and very different. Okay, all right, now let's move on to the dial. Now the dial here is a Sunburst blue dial. Now what Sunburst means that when you turn it in certain directions, it looks lighter and darker. That's not really any of a surprise. Patek does plenty of Sunburst dials, so do many other brands. Now what I can bring your attention to, though, however, is if you look at the faceted applied hour markers, these are index hour markers, but they're not just like any index marker. They're faceted in white gold. They're cut not just flat, but faceted. Faceted means kind of like they have angles to them. And what that does is allow the hour markers to have a play of light, and it adds just another depth and layer of beauty to the dial by having the hour markers look like they're coming to life by adding these edges to them. And they finish it off with these dolphin style hands that are also faceted. And so it matches the hour markers. And finally, to print, they make the white bezel edge in white. It's very subtle. And then they put the print in white. Now I like that they did that because blue on white, it completes the look. And Patek is known for being a very traditional company. So very clean, simple look. I'm glad they didn't use like red on the hour, on the second counter or something. They made everything really look classic, and you really can't go wrong with white print on this blue. It really, really looks awesome if you ask me. And if they actually had placed the Patek Philippe logo in like white gold or something, or it would not pop as well. But when they put it in this white against this blue, it really pops and you can see it immediately. I really like it. Okay, that's the dial. Now let's move on to the movement here. Now the movement here, as you can see, there is no rotor. That means that it's a manual wind movement, and it has a 44-hour power reserve, which means if you wind it all the way, it'll last 44 hours. That's pretty typical of manual wind movements. Nothing special there. And the movement itself is a 25-21 movement, has 18 joules, and it's an in-house movement, as you could expect. And it's actually not surprising, but what is impressive, I should say, is that when you look at the finishing on the movement, it's superb, just like every other Patek actually. But it never ceases to amaze me when I look at the movement, just the level of detail done to the beveled edge, to the finish, the Coteau de Genève, everything is just done to absolute perfection. It's one of the most, Patek is known to make one of the most beautiful movements in the world, right up there with A. Lange & Söhne. Although some people say A. Lange & Söhne is more beautiful, I consider their movements to be more ornate, but not necessarily more beautiful. Yes, they make beautiful movements. I'm just saying maybe not as... Patek also makes very beautiful movements. And so does Audemars Piguet. I'd probably put Audemars Piguet, Patek Philippe, A. Lange & Söhne, and I'd probably put Richard Mille up there as well. Okay, these make beautiful movements. Okay, anyways, there you have it on the movement. And let's talk about the strap. A strap is it's your typical Patek strap. It's a leather strap. It has a quick release spring bar, as many of them do, and it's in blue alligator, large scale. They do tone on tone, so the stitching is also in blue, and it just looks fantastic. And I like that it has this pin buckle, which is very typical Patek as well, very classic. Everything about this watch is very classic. Okay, now it's time for me to try it on. Now I have a 7.5 inch wrist, and as you can see, the watch, I have a 7.5 inch wrist, which is not small by any means, and I weigh nearly 200 pounds. So it's not a small watch at all, but it's not a big watch either, right? So I believe that for most men, including myself, it can fit really nicely. And I personally love this watch. I think it looks fantastic. But this watch for me is a pure dress watch. You wear this with a suit, you wear this with a long sleeve shirt, or a collared shirt at least, and it's a gentleman's watch. It's not the watch that you wear with shorts and t-shirts. So, it's for a very specific person, or a very specific situation. As far as that goes, though, as long as you wear it in a dress fashion, I really think when it comes to this tonneau shaped, nobody does it better than Patek, and I think the Gondolo really captured the essence of this, dress style, funky Art Deco, beautiful look. And I believe right now they're not producing this one anymore, but I believe they'll bring it back at some point, and they'll bring it back, in a very cool way, as Patek always does. Right now they're just making ladies versions of it, which also, by the way, I think are super beautiful. So anyways, if you like this watch and would like to purchase this one or other similar ones, go to jazztime.com or click on the link in the description below.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.